I'm Philip, and in this video I will have a first look and do an unboxing of the Einscan Trak, so the new, I would say, budget tracking scanner from Einscan, and behind of them, of course, Shining 3D. So here I have a few notes of mine. First of all, the scanner was sent to me for testing, but no money changed hands, and all the my opinions and stuff I say is my own opinions. So to get this out of the way, let's first have a look a bit more at some general information. So this is like the spec sheet. I guess I will also include like a pop-up in the video. So the main specialty of the scanner I would call is, or the main highlight, that of course it is a tracking scanner from a very well-known brand, but it also has a 2-in-1 mode. So here in the spec sheet you see there is the column for the tracking mode. So like a traditional tracking scanner, you have the base station that follows the handpiece, and you have a handheld scanner mode. So the handheld scanner mode is like typical for these scanners to have. So the handpiece can be used standalone most of the times. But what this can do is that you have to imagine the handpiece as a bit like, you have like the marker sphere, and then within you have a removable smaller scanner, a bit like improved Einscan Rockit within a marker sphere. Another highlight I would say is the large tracking volume. So the official specs mention 15 cubic meters of tracking volume with an expansion of up to 4.8 by 4.2 meters at 4 meters scanning distance. So the tracking distance is between 800 millimeters and 4000 millimeters. But the interesting thing is I calculated the tracking volume myself again with like the data or the presentation I have seen. And it actually is much larger. So my own calculation, like calculating a pyramid with this value, then subtracting a pyramid of the minimum value, I come out to more like than 26 cubic meters. So interesting that they are understating the performance itself. Maybe they want to be on the sheer side or on the more safer side. In the handheld scanner mode, you basically get the specs of Rockit with the improvement or the significant improvement of also having a single line mode. And since I said it's basically a Rockit, the handpiece, improved Rockit, you're also getting the feature tracking mode in the handheld mode. So it has infrared emitters to project the infrared pattern on the part, a bit like Face ID on iPhone. And then this information is used to deduct the position of the scanner, and the laser line is emitted are used to capture data. Currently, it isn't supported to be used as like a regular infrared scanner. Maybe there will be a software update in the future that enables this feature, but don't buy a scanner for things that are currently not supported. Keep this in mind. So I think the hardware would allow it, but maybe it's simply not the focus of the product, because in the core it's a laser scanner. So now we get this out of the way. Then operating temperature -10 to 40 degrees Celsius. That's quite nice. And what's also one point, the resolution, so the point distance is from 0.05 millimeters to 10 millimeters. So for me, the 10 millimeters is quite interesting, because this gives me the option to also map very large parts very quickly. For example, I have a few, I would call them, I don't know how to call them, a bit like the Harry Potter cabinets under stairs, where I want to have to like fit some server racks in there. And for this, I tried a LiDAR scanner a while ago, but it's a bit too small, the space for a LiDAR scanner, and it would be just right for the Trak. Sorry, don't get it mixed up. Then the next thing I want to talk about is operating time. So what's also one big point, or I missed it because for me, or for Einscan projects, it's natural at some point, it works wireless. So it's not completely standalone. You still need a powerful PC to go with it, but it goes over Wi-Fi. The whole system, so the for the tracking mode, you have 2 batteries in the tracker, 2 in the handpiece, and then you have over 5 hours of continuous use. In the handheld scanner mode, so with only 1 battery in the handpiece, I will show you later, don't worry, you have 3.5 hours of use. And for the PC specs, you need quite a powerful PC, so that's also for me no surprise. Or of course, you need a powerful PC. The recommended specs are basically GPU. So what's interesting here? Okay. They recommend a NVIDIA graphic card, so 32 gigabytes RAM or above. My rig has 128 gigabytes of RAM, 5070 Ti, and 16-core AMD Ryzen processor, so I'm not worried. Now a bit about the weight of the scanners. So the tracker itself is 1 kilo. The handpiece with the sphere attached is 1.46 kilos, and only the handheld scanner without the sphere is 0.48 kilograms. So now we get the specs out of the way. Don't worry, I will include a quick chapter mark in the video, so you can skip it. Let's look at the case, or let's start with the unboxing. So this is actually like the internal flight case it comes in, but I already unpacked it from the bigger case. I hope I can show it to some degree how big it is. So it's much larger. I simply have no chance of reasonably putting it on the table. This case came in an outer case with roughly 4 centimeters of foam, or density foam on all sides, so it's well protected. So first, looking at the flight case itself, the good thing is, you can see it here, it has locks. So we have number locks with like a TSA key. Then we have like rollers in the bottom, so it can just be like moved around like a regular carry case. And we have a carry handle on the top, on the side, and we have like an extensible pulling arm. But now let's open the package like this, and we are seeing quite a lot of stuff here. I will take a sip of water. I would say let's first get the interesting things out and look at them closer later. So of course we have the handpiece. I put it to the side now. And we also have the tracker, which is surprisingly small, I must say. So I've seen it on the pictures before, but I didn't know it would be quite this small. So it's very compact. And there also seems to be some additional cameras in here. I will have a closer look later. Okay, now we get these 2 parts out of the way. And we can start looking at everything else for the first part. I would say we will start with the calibration parts, or the parts relevant for calibration. So this is, first thing here, it's a carbon calibration board. I guess this is first used to calibrate the scanner, so the handpiece. That is calibrated like a regular laser scanner. So at this point, I haven't tried calibrating. I'm just deducting from my previous experience with other tracking scanners. And what you also see here on the front sides, we have bigger markers. There it will be used, I guess, for hand-eye calibration. For context, calibration normally includes 3 steps with these tracking scanners. First, you calibrate the handpiece. Then in the second step, you calibrate the tracker standalone. So a bit like calibrating the handpiece, but in bigger. And then as a third step, because with the second step, what you now have is the handpiece knows what to scan, the tracker knows what to scan. But what we still haven't connected is how to put the position of the handpiece relative to, how to put the position that the tracker sees of the handpiece relative to what the handpiece itself scans. So for this is then the hand-eye calibration. Basically, you have to imagine like this. You place the board like this, again, or maybe like this on the table. You take the handpiece, you scan these markers, and during this scanning, the tracker sees both the handpiece and the board to deduct both positions. So let's move this out of the way. And of course, with these calibration boards, make sure to not to drop them and also not to touch the surface. One thing I've forgotten previously, I'm very sorry, about price. I don't know yet the exact price. I'm sorry. What I've heard, it should be roughly 7,000 euros. So a bit above the Rigil. A bit above, good bit above the Rigil. Now, the next thing here under this foam inlay, we have quite a big calibration bar. So let's unpack it. So it's nicely secured in the foam of the package, of the case. So here you have the calibration bar. It's full carbon with, it looks like, also, I guess, injection molded additions with the markers on it. And the central bar is quite thick. I guess it's a, I would say, 40mm carbon rod. Of course, with a QR code, so the calibration data can be read. Now let's put this on the side. And so I previously had a quick look in the case to ensure that everything is included and it arrived in a working condition. What you also have in here, these should be holders for the calibration bar, so it can be placed on the table. So I guess it goes like this. So, and the second one here, and then it just can be placed on the table, standing nicely and being a bit lifted from the surface. So let's also put it to the side. Quick update from feature. I finally found out for what the two bar holders are for. So buried in the software, there is the option for temperature monitoring. And if you go on the information bar, it's basically you place the calibration pole next to your part while scanning, and then it in real time it reduces the effect of temperature deviations. So finally, this isn't like advertised in the manual or on the website, or at least I haven't found it, but this is a very convenient feature. I haven't needed it yet, but good that it is there. And now we already can continue. So I will insert the foam back there. Now, I would say the next bigger group, or next relevant part, I would say, is the networking equipment that's included. Because how it is handled with the Trak is that there is, so both the tracker and the handpiece need to be connected over Wi-Fi to the PC. For this, there is an included access or travel router. These travel routers are quite nice. I actually have a very similar unit, my own. And the good is it's a brand new unit. So this is the one I was cheap buying for myself. So this is GLINet. They are a well-established brand. I bought the cheaper TP-Link version. And what this basically does is you connect it to USB-C power. The good thing is it uses 5 volts of power. This means that you can power it with a USB-A plug from your PC. So no need for an external power supply. You powered it up, connected over Ethernet cable to your PC, and this then creates its own Wi-Fi network where you connect the handpiece and the scanner to. I guess in the software, so with the first wired connection, I can input the connection data for this network, for the network this one creates. Now, I would say this was the network equipment. I would say we now go to the batteries and how they're powered, or how the scanner is powered. So the first thing we have here on the side is a charging dock, and we already see it's isn't the regular 21700 charging dock anymore. Input power is 15 volts at 3 amps, so this is power delivery spec, and means that the batteries can be charged at 45 watts. And there are 4 batteries included. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's zoom in a tiny bit so we can see it clear. I will only unbox one of the batteries now. And internally, I think the batteries also are using 21700 cells. So the rated capacity is 5,400 milliamp hours, so this sounds like a 21700 cell. The good thing is, or the nice thing is, they have an integrated charge indicator. So you press the button once and you see the status charge. This is quite handy. I am a bit sad that they didn't include or didn't use regular 21700 cells. I get it. 21700 cells can be a bit tricky in using, so you don't see the status charge. You have like always the risk of misusing or charging them with an unsafe charger, using reverse polarity. This style of battery solves the issues. So I get it. And as said, the tracker uses 2 of them and the handpiece uses 2 of them. If the scanner or the handpiece is used in standalone, it only uses 1 of them. So I will put it to the side. Then the next big thing, or the last big thing in the case, is the tripod. So this tripod is used for the tracker. I would say not very much to say. It's like a regular tripod, or regular camera tripod. It's quite lightweight, quite compact. It has like natively a swiveling head. So this makes it quite easy to position the tracker. So for example, if you want to scan downwards, you can angle the tracker downwards natively and don't need like an additional ball head, or don't need to buy an additional ball head. That's quite nice. And now we dig into the cable compartment, or one thing before. There are some markers included, or I wouldn't say some markers, quite a lot of markers. I hope you can see this stack of 12mm markers. So the 12mm markers are used for multi-position scanning. So how this works, multi-position scanning is basically, is that you glue these markers on the part you're scanning in tracking mode, and then the tracker can also follow the part you're scanning itself. So without these 12mm markers, the tracker basically doesn't know at all where the part you're scanning is placed, or its relative position to the part, and can't follow the relative position. So when you move the tracker, or tap the tracker while scanning, you have a bit of a problem because your scan is messed up. Placing these markers, you have the option to move the tracker while scanning to new positions. For example, to increase coverage, or when I think about vehicle scanning, that I do quite a lot often, is I just place some markers all around the part. I will most likely design some marker geometries for this one, so I can stick them on the car, and then I can just do one continuous scan moving around the car with the tracker in, I guess, 3 positions, maybe 4 positions, and the whole car is covered. And we also have 6mm markers that can be used with the handpiece. So these are quite some markers. Now we will dig into the cable compartment. Or first, here we have some paperwork. It's like a quick start guide. I don't want to show the code now. It's a quick start guide, information guide, what's in the package, and also a sheet to activate X model. So they are measuring software. But I'm actually not quite sure how much or how long it is included. My gut feeling would be like 1 year of free X model usage. I will also place this one to the side. And now we'll look at the cables a bit closer. So what you first have is a hub, or cable hub. This is also like a Ugreen branded unit. Proper one, I would call it. It has USB-A and also USB-C, so it can be both used in, like I would say, regular workstations and some thinner notebooks that only have USB-C. Then we have multiple power adapters for the power brick that's included for charging. Then we have, that's also quite nice, we have already included some replacement screw terminals for the cabling. That's quite nice. So in case one is lost, put it aside. One thing I'm just noticing here, under tape, there is a USB flash drive. So I guess on this is the software for the scanner, in case you don't want to download it. I don't know what's the side of it. It's a 32 GB USB drive. Then we have quite some cables. I will now get all of these out. Okay, I have all of them and put the case away. So like this. Okay. So we can have a bit of a closer look. So let's look at the cables. So what you can see here is, okay, first thing, the most unspectacular one, we have a cleaning cloth for the lenses. I think it's even Einscan branded. If I have a closer look. Yeah, there is a, it's not Einscan branded, Pisen. But let's put it to the side. Then we have a USB power brick. So as always, I'm a bit sad, the US college, they can natively use this plug and have a much more compact unit. I need to use one of the adapters. So for me, it's the U adapter. It just slides on like this. Let's see. It's also locking. So yeah. So like this. And the output is, let's see, output 100 watt max. So up to 20 volts at 5 amperes. So this can be used to power the scanner, or also used for charging. Then the next cable we have is a Ethernet cable. This, I think it's 2 meters, I guess. So it's well enough. I actually quite prefer to use a much shorter cable for my travel router. So this is used to connect the included router to the PC. Then we have a USB-C charging cable. This can be either used for charging the batteries, or also again for the travel router. What we now have are some additional cables. So let's have a look. Okay, we have two similar cables, I even think. So they aren't branded differently. Yeah, they have the same sticker on them. And for what these are used for when using wired mode, so of course you still can use the Trak in wired mode. For this you have the USB-A plug that is connected to a PC, and you have a power input plug you can see here. And the power input plug is fed by this cable. So we have USB-C on the one side, and on the other side we have two power outlets that are simply connected with like this quick connect. Let's see, like this, and it has a like screw lock, so there's no chance of accidentally unplugging it. So like this, and then you can use the whole system wired. But now let's put it out of the way. What I'm still not quite certain about how it works is when calibrating, if the scanner needs to be connected wired or the calibration also works wireless. From what I've seen with other scanners, calibration only works wired. I really hope it works wireless on this one, but I will know more later. A second quick update from from future. So you can see I currently connect the tracker and the scanner wirelessly, and now let's start the calibration. So calibration fully works wirelessly. There isn't any need to use the cables while calibration. So the whole calibration process works wirelessly. So not only a part of it, even of the standalone scanner and the full tracking system. So let's add it here. Let's put him away, and we can finally have a closer look at the tracker and at the scanner. So now let's have a closer look at the scanner, so the handpiece, and at the tracker. I would say we start with the tracker. So in the center, what you're seeing here, let's zoom in a bit more, like this. So in the center we have, of course, like a glass plate with two LED indicators showing the tracking status. And on the side we have the two depth cameras. used for tracking with infrared illuminators around them. So from like looking front of it, then the lenses look quite small, but the interesting thing is, as soon as you rotate the tracker, you see how curved these lenses are. So they will provide quite a big field of view. And what you also have is here, I think these, like you see the additional glass plate, I hope. I'm not seeing exactly what's below them, but I think it's an additional camera sensor. You can see it here, but I'm not quite certain. It could be also like ambient light sensors, but I just noticed them. Then here in the bottom we have like the quick mount plate to the tripod. When we remove the plate, like this, we can see that it's just a regular 1/4 inch camera thread, and there's even like a threaded insert. So I think if I screw it out, I get like the bigger insert normally used with larger cameras. So there is quite some flexibility for mounting. And the good thing is the included mounting blade also has like these pins that ensure that it doesn't rotate around. So it's quite nice to see. Then on the back, we have 2 ventilation holes. We have like the central control buttons. I'm still not certain what these buttons will do, if they have like a similar functionality as on the handpiece, but quite nice to see that this one can also be controlled. So these are like some clicky buttons. We have like some information. So the rated power input is 20 volts at 5 amps. So this is interesting. So this would be 100 watt input. I don't know if the internal batteries also can be charged while scanning, but this is noticeable. And here on the bottom, we have like a USB-C input that is locking. So this is when using the scanner wired, and we have a small power button. On the other side, there is nothing. And now the good thing is even the front has rubber, you can see in these rubber pads, so it can be placed like this on the table. And then we have the 2 battery compartments to the side. And what's noteworthy, the batteries are hot swappable. So now if I put one of them in, I can already power up the tracker. And when now adding a second one, like this, you can see it just plugs right in. And we see on both batteries that we have an LED indicator, and I can just pull one of them out. The indicator stops, but the tracker is still on. And it really is a handy unit. I still have to find out a bit how quickly the tracker can be moved while scanning with the markers, because if it can be moved quite quickly, I may even decide some sort of additional handle for the tracker, so a second person can follow me around with the tracker while scanning. So for the, I would say, for the bigger scans. But now let's power this one down just by pressing the button, the power button. And now I pull out the batteries because I will also use them for the handpiece. So like this. Now let's go to the handpiece as the last big part. And I think the first thing you're seeing, or I hope you're seeing, that the markers are actually under glass. I think there are some infrared light filters over the markers. I'm not completely sure. Maybe this is for auto scanning. I've noticed because other cheaper scanners don't have this setup. The higher price scanners or trackers, also higher price, I mean like over 50,000 euros, normally have these kind of markers. So that's very nice to see. And I think the first thing we should show is how the handpiece can be removed. So this is like the highlight of the tracker or the track. So here in the front, you can see that the handpiece is a bit like in a groove in a clamshell. And for removing, you first unscrew the USB cable to the side. So sadly, the handpiece isn't like wirelessly connected over pogo pins. I understand it. So this would create an additional point of failure. And now when the cable is removed, we have this latch on the bottom. I just release. And now I can pull out the handpiece, like this. And when having a bit of a closer look at the mounting pattern, it's a bit dark in the clamshell, it's fully machined aluminum. So basically there are some, I hope you can see it like this, there are two alignment balls, or these are spring-loaded balls, and the central pin, when rotating the handle, it slides down, upwards and downwards, so this is the securement itself. What I'm still not entirely sure is if the system needs to be calibrated again after releasing the hand scanner and reattaching it. My gut feeling says it should be recalibrated. I will know more later. Now, when looking at the handpiece, it is quite compact and it's quite light. So this is 0.5 kilogram, as the spec stated. So when I now attach or insert with the batteries, so the whole system uses the same batteries all around. It gains a bit of weight, but it's still quite compact. And here we see like the machined mounting pattern for the marker frame. We also have LED indicators. We have a USB-C plug on the bottom with a power button. So now let's power it up. And the controls are like, I would say they are similar to the marker sphere. So we have the M button for, I think it's changing the modes or start stopping. Then we have plus and minus for the zoom, or for how close you see what you scanned on the screen, and we have plus and minus for the exposure. When looking at the front, so for this I will zoom in even a bit further. So hope this works. So when looking at front, we see the main upgrade over the original Rockit. What you now have is a fourth laser emitter. The fourth emitter is for a single line mode. So what we have is with 38 crossed lines, so 2 times 90 lines. We have 7 parallel lines and we have 1 single line. So the single line is mainly interesting for deep pulse scanning, and this is even an upgrade over the Rigil. So currently, this is the only, I would say, prosumer price scanner from Einscan that has a single line mode. Looking at the cameras, I would say it's nothing, nothing new or nothing surprising over the Rockit and Rigil. We have 2 depth cameras with, let's look at the specs. So let me peek once at the specs. I think these are these are 2 megapixel cameras for the depth and a big 5 megapixel camera for the texture. We have here the infrared emitters used for the markerless laser scanning. So these are the same emitters as on the Rockit from the looks. Maybe they're internally improved, I don't know. And we have additional fill lights around the depth camera that allow lighting out some darker areas when using texture scanning. Interesting on the system that even in laser scanning mode, so without capturing texture, these fill lights are still used for illuminating. What I forgot beforehand with the tracker, its depth cameras have 5 megapixels. So you can see it's powered up, but now we can already power it down just by long pressing the power button. So, and I will remove the battery again, because now we will re-add it to the marker sphere. So like this. One thing you have to pay attention to, I just noticed, there are no rubber bumpers here in the front. So the topmost part is still the plastic casing. So when placing it like this on a table, you're not scratching the glass directly, but maybe I'll design some small rubber bumpers that can be attached just to make it a bit more secure when placing it like this. Now we will have to zoom out to have a better look at the tracking or the marker sphere. Like this. Okay. If I place it like this, you really see the clamshell design. And what you're also seeing here, we have some legs, I would call them, for the for standing the handpiece. So it can be just placed like this on a table. So this is very convenient. It has some weight to it. So from specs, this one without the scanner itself is roughly 1 kilo. With the scanner, it's 1.5 kilos. But it's also built very massively, I would say. So the whole clamp itself is made from carbon. Then we have the marker spheres. I think they are injection molded. I think they're injection molded from nylon or so, and they are attached. I even think they're even metal. I'm sorry, they seem to be fully made from metal. So on the bottom side you see the machining, and they are attached to the marker sphere with directly like glued into the sphere with its metal post. Then here in the center we have its handle, also with the same control buttons as on the scanner, plus like a trigger button. I hope you can see hear the click, like this. So this is feels a bit like a trigger for starting and stopping the scan. Then here in the center bottom we have an additional USB-C plug with a power button, and like this, I will hold it like this to not place it on the table. We have 2 battery compartments, also for hot swappable batteries. But still, it also works with only one of these batteries included. So if I now just quickly reattach the handpiece, so you see that it's quite a fast process. So ensure it's on the unlock position, then I can insert it like this. So what you have to keep in mind, so due to these spring-loaded balls, it may take a bit of force depending on how you put it in to go over the springs. And when locking it, it's like very securely fixed. So there is nearly no flexing between the scanner and the sphere. And as a last thing, just reattached cable. Good thing is the cable itself isn't like hardwired into the sphere. Hope you can see it here. It's just threaded through there, so it can be changed when damaged. So now we are also already assembled again. I will now add the 2 batteries. So battery 1, like this, battery 2. And now when closing it, I can just boot up the handpiece. And you already see there are 2 LEDs next to the 2 battery compartments to show you the state of charge and that the batteries are inserted. And as with the tracker, I can just remove one of them without the handpiece complaining or shutting down. So it doesn't even shortly reboot or so. Okay, now we have covered all of the parts. We have had a closer look at the handpiece and at the tracker. What's next from my side? So what I will do as next steps, I will of course start using the Trak and getting used to it mainly. So to really get to know it, how it behaves scanning, what are its strengths, what are the weaknesses, if there are any. So currently it looks very nice. The only thing maybe I just noticed, but this is mainly due to the design choice of the 2-in-1, that this handpiece is relatively heavy, simply because of like the additional hardware for it being removable. So this is just like a compromise, I guess. And of course, we have 2 batteries in there. If you want to have it lighter, you can just remove one of the batteries and you already saved a bit of weight. Then I will do my standard testing. This means accuracy measurement or accuracy testing, scan benchy, coin, my anatomical skull. And of course, I will use it in my projects, mainly for this one, very big scans, car scans, I will share and do a tutorial of it, and maybe even a direct comparison to the Riverpoint Trackit. So as like the main contender in the market currently. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you could learn something. I hope you got a good look at all the hardware, and enjoy. Be back with my new testing or my new videos. Have a nice day. Bye.